So till yesterday we have completed the normal routing like using Express. So we learn about three or four or five methods: get individual ID details, post, put, delete. Right. So today we are going to learn how we can use, because we are not going to, of course, we are not going to use uh, the routing in server.js, because in large project it is very difficult to manage to write all route in server.js itself. So you have to create a separate file, and you can import that routing file inside server.js. Okay. So let's create one folder over here, separate folder. Inside it, create folder, which routes. Now inside route I can create separate files called routes.js. Okay, if bootcamp routes. So yes, for other file also you have to, other route you have to create another file. So name should be specific. Why is it in name? Bootcamp routes. So in for routing we are going to use the route method which is inside Express itself. Okay, so to access route method we have to include first the router. So it's visible, guys, or you can you have to increase the font size.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, then I am including route file over here, all the routes. Instead of AF, I just replace it as route and I export it from here. Right. So now I have created another file which is route, but to use it inside inside server.js, you have to import it. So in server.js, we have to import it first, right? So let's import it in server.js. So guys, you should practice it, otherwise it is difficult to understand later on. Those who are working in Node.js, it is okay for them. Okay. Then I'm using one middleware over here, app.use. As I explained yesterday, app.use is used to use a separate, use global middleware, and especially we are using those things over here. And make sure you should use this middleware just above the route file. Okay. So what I'm doing over here, instead of writing this common path always inside this route file, I'm just putting it as API version 1 and bootcamp. So the common things I'm putting over here, then append it to bootcamp router. So right now you can see inside bootcamp route file, I'm just using //id //id and /id, right? So let's go inside API new, then npm run dev. So where is my postman? Where is it? Bootcamp router. What is the problem with it? Not defined in server.js. Okay, so what is the problem? We didn't import it in server.js, right? This one. It said that I am not importing it, but I have imported it.
Sequence issue.
Sorry?
It
Sequences.
was sequence issue.
Yes. right? Now you can see it is running in 3000 port. Let's see, let's drag it to here, just call it get whatever it may be. We can get the result, the same result, right? So which was initially without using the express router, we get direct router. We are using direct router using express. We are using the same result. We are getting the same result. Right now also we are getting the same result. So right now it is working fine. So now next step is we are going to create. So right now you can see inside route file. What is it? These are static data, right? I am passing the static data over here. But instead of using static data, we are going to use controller over here, right? So instead of writing manually, I can just copy it, so that it will be easy for you creating controller file. So first we have to create a controller, then create a folder controllers in the root, create folder controllers and file bootcamp controller.js. Okay, bootcamp controller.js. So I'm putting all those codes. I'll explain later on. Right. So right now I created a controller file, bootcamp controller, and I've mentioned all the code which is mentioned inside the route file. So I have to remove the route file and replace those codes. Let me explain. First replace those codes, then I'll explain it. So go inside route files, routers, inside routers. I just replace everything over here with this, right? So let me see whether it is working or not. Okay, it's still working. So let's understand what I am doing here. So first I remove all the routing from all the things from here, the controller file from routing file. So I am creating a separate controller file. Here you can see I have mentioned something at description. So before writing any controller, you should describe for which purpose you are creating it, and what is the methods, and what is the base URL, what is the URLs, original URLs. You can say it is original URL. Okay. Then whether it is public or private. Means if it is private, then you have to pass, of course, auth guard over here inside as a middleware, or you can use global middleware somewhere else at the top, so that everything will be passed through authorization. So till now I am writing the same code, but I am just creating a separate file so that I can write separate logic over here for any controller. So look at here. So I'm not using module.export. Look at it. I'm using exports, but as I explained, after export you should put any object over here to access it in other files. Remember, but you cannot write like export equal to something. No, it will not work, right? And you can see I wrote over here multiple time export dot boot get bootcamp, export dot get bootcamps, then create bootcamp, then for updating data I'm update bootcamp and delete bootcamp, right? So how I can import this inside a route file then? So look at it. So As you know, as Deep sometimes in the past Deep explained sometimes that we can use in this way. So yes, you can use in this way. We use usually in this way. So however you export from there, you can uh, import it in the same manner as I mentioned here. Equal to require this. So multiple method you can access inside the curly braces. So it is a part of ES6 concept, which is called destructuring. And in case of importing, you can access and multiple import from the original file to this file, because we mentioned multiple export over here. So you can access individually each and every bunch of code. These are dealing as separate modules whenever you mention over here in separate export, right? Okay, so it is fine. So whenever you are using, so you understand how you can create a route over here, then how you can create a controller files. Inside controller file you can put all the bootcamp controller, the other controller file you are going to create in this folder. Then in route folder we are going to create as another route schedule whenever you create another models. Because right now you can see the code is very pretty clear. There is no route inside it in server.js, and everything is separate file. So till now, do you have any question, guys? Because this is a sample CRUD operations, and how you can create route file using express router, how you can put them in separate file, how you can access them, create a controller file, and controller files are used to write the business logic and calling to the database. So we are clear now. Do you have any question? You can ask over here.
Sir, I have a question in that server file that you have imported that route file using that app.use. So how in line number 16?
This one, yeah.
How does that this like API slash v1 slash bootcamp will be appended in, and like bootcamp's router will know that okay, I have to use before this.
So any
So how
file,
will
for example, you are importing any file from somewhere else and you want to add some path over here, then the relative paths will be added automatically along with the root path. And this is the relative path. Again, you can add this module, then whatever you are writing inside it, if you are going to use any path, then automatically it will add this. You can use whenever you are using in any other file as well. You can use in this way. If there is any common or multiple times you have to write this route file or any path or anything else, so you can use this method. This is what I imported over here, right?
hmm.
And I append this path to it. So in bootcamp, this path slash any path inside the bootcamp, you can especially use in routing case, or where we're using the relative paths type of things.
So apart from route endpoints, other like path also appended with this.
It may be, but I have never used it.
Okay.
So most of the time, whenever the path type of thing we have to use, then we can use it. You can use as a middleware, use method, and just append this with this module.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So in the bootcamp controller.js, the
Yeah.
way you use the methods using dot operator, can you? Okay, sorry,
Yes. It is
sorry,
all. It is all about, yes.
not in this controller. It's the bootcamp.root.js. Just can you
Routing
navigate to
file.
that file?
It is routing file.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have imported all of the methods, and the way you use like router slash dot get and dot post.
Okay. Okay. Let's
So
explain it.
how does it work?
Let me explain. it is like this. It is actually like chaining, method chaining. So
Mm-hmm.
you can route this with this URL. You can access
Right.
these two methods, get and
Okay.
post with these two methods, because
Okay. Okay.
you can see in the previous route, if I can see you, because I have already completed those topics. So if you can see here the routing, you can see from here as well. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'll look
last,
into it.
this is get only, get all listing. So if you are aware about the root, the URL formation, so you can see API
Mm-hmm.
slash D1 get bootcamps. Actually not here, it is in previous file, but you can see from here that how the URL is formed over here. This and these are common, but the method is changed only. So what I am doing
Okay.
over there, I am just putting one route and I am accessing multiple methods out of this, chaining the methods,
Right. Okay.
right? And slash ID,
Yeah.
and slash ID are common, only the methods are different,
Right. Right.
right? So you can see for route slash ID, colon ID, I am using get bootcamp for unit for pulling on single bootcamp, then you update bootcamp and delete bootcamp. The route is same, only methods are different. Same over here. That's why I'm just
Okay. That is
making it.
clear.
So whenever you're using the common URL, then it will be most of the time the API URL is cached, and it is of course will be faster. So instead of, because URL should be common, and I have already explained how the URL should be formed in any CRUD operation for any models. Uh,
Yeah. Okay. I'll look into the document.
yeah, you can see the
Thank you.
document, or you can see the video also I shared. A link has been shared in group. Okay,
Sure.
you can see from there. So any other questions? Because till now, if you don't understand anyone, because backend developers or maybe from PHP side or Node.js, they are very much aware about it, very much uh, uh, because they are using it on daily basis. But those who are front-end developers, they should ask if they don't understand. Anybody else? No? Okay. So now we'll learn about how we can create all the stuff, controller for routes, all the stuff. But right now we have to do the connectivity, data as connectivity, right? Which is most important. Then at least you can complete your whole project from creating route file and putting data into the database, inserting data, CRUD operation. The CRUD operation you can do. So right now you just create the route and controller with static data, right? So I think in this slide we have completed everything. Let's close it. Let's go to this file. So in this file you can see I provide some screenshot to how to connect to MongoDB Atlas. So before that, let's see some, got it. So what is database actually, do you know guys? Because whenever we are developing any applications, we have to store data somewhere else in our application, right? So that's why we are using database. So there are different type of data available, different type of tricks they are using. There are so many, and most of the time the relational database are we are using for large scale project, and right now also we are using NoSQL database in large scale project as well, because the NoSQL database are also that much what you can say robust to cater a lot of millions and billions of GBs of data, right? So because initially the MongoDB was used only for the unstructured data. So people are saying only we can store the unstructured data, not structured data we can store, because we think that only structured data or validated data. Validated data means we are creating a database to which we can provide the types, proper types or specific type field type we can provide to SQL database. But in case of NoSQL, we can just provide anything, and without schema also we can store it as unstructured data. But right now MongoDB is more powerful. I cannot say more powerful, it is powerful as compared to the previous one, the 4.1 version, where you can do so many advanced operation easily. But of course, there are some merits and demerits for each database. So right now we are going with NoSQL database like MongoDB, because with Node.js, MongoDB, most of the people prefer MongoDB because it is a complete stack. That's called mean stack. Okay, mean stack, mon stack, where M stand for MongoDB, because people prefer MongoDB instead of SQL database like MySQL, PostgreSQL, Redshift, all the stuff. So this database in the engineering career or in your study career also, you know this database, right? This tabular format. So in NoSQL database, you can see all the information in the form of JSON, and most of the time we deal with JSON only. Whenever you are getting API in the front end and we are sending API to the front end, we have you most of the time you deal with JSON files, JSON data, right? And I can just give a presentation over here how data stored in relational database, which is in the form of table and columns and row, right? It is a table which contains columns and rows. So instead of columns and row, how it represented in document DB or MongoDB, like always the column name is in the form of key everywhere, and the value in the records is stored as a value to that key always. Look at it, ID is repeated and the values get changed. So this is what the representation of relational database in the form of no relational database or NoSQL database, you can say. You cannot say no relational, but it is NoSQL database, right? So you can, those who are very much confident or very much fluent on relational database like this, they can relate this with this object in MongoDB. So you can see data always in this form of JSON in MongoDB. So before start doing operation with the MongoDB database, so you can install MongoDB in your local PC as well and you can connect it, or you can use MongoDB Atlas, because installing in your PC and doing all the stuff, it's I don't think it is a good solution, because sometimes what happen in your PC, it is installation problem, all the stuff problem will be there definitely, because most of the people are not using that much good configuration. It is fine, not an issue. You can use MongoDB Cloud. So to connect to MongoDB Cloud, we have to first create a database in the cloud. So you can see over here, I am already logged in. I am not logged in. Okay. So you can see you can log in from here. There are some pricing table is available. You can see, and there is a free cluster. You can shared cluster. You can see over here, which provide you 512 MB, 512 MB storage with up to extendable up to 5 GB. What is shared? Shared means this page will be shared by multiple people, so the performance definitely will not get properly over here, but you can use up to for the testing purpose, right? And these are dedicated cluster you can use, and in dedicated cluster, and why you are using MongoDB Atlas instead of any normal MongoDB. So whenever you are installing MongoDB in AWS or any cloud platform, AWS is not giving you the option, giving any service for MongoDB, right? So you have to use document DB, which is very costly. Very means you can say it is $400 per month, so it is too costly, right? So so you can say we can take a EC2 instance. So do you guys understand what I'm talking about? What is EC2 instance? What is document DB? I know you are not aware about the cloud computing and AWS. So later on after this training, maybe I can provide you the cloud computing basic knowledge and some AWS services. What is the purpose of using them? I will explain you. So DocumentDB is a NoSQL database service of AWS, just like RDS. RDS is a relational database services. So there is so when you are going to use the service a document DB from AWS, it will not provide you first of all the latest version. I'm just giving the brief of it so that it is easy to understand. So it is 3 point something right now currently in document DB, which will provide the MongoDB support. So that is the main reason, the pricing constraint and the version constraint, where we should use MongoDB Atlas. And why we are not installing a MongoDB inside um, an EC2 server? We can do that as well, right? And most of the project we did, we already did, and we do that as well. But it is not suggestible only because it is not going to create replica in different availability zone or region. For example, you are accessing database from US, then it is very too far from India. Then it will work definitely slower and latency will be high and you cannot access it properly, or the efficiency will definitely low. So in case of AWS services like RDS, if it is AWS original services and you are using RDS for MySQL, then it will create internally replica in different availability zone and data center of AWS. What is data center? I will explain later. I mean, different region they are established their data center. In India, we have Mumbai is the data center right now, right? So if somebody try to pull data from database from India, then it will serve from India database from Mumbai. So this replica has been automatically created in different data center availability zone. So we can create that type of services. We can achieve that type of functionality if you are going to, if you will use uh, AWS services. So that is why we are going to use MongoDB Atlas. And in all project, we prefer to use MongoDB Atlas instead of normal MongoDB, right? So to start working, we can just go inside it. We can log in. You can log in. Of course, I'm logging through. I have already logged in, I think. Yes, I already logged in. So after login, you can, guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So first you can create a cluster over here. You can click our cluster. So you can see, you cannot see this one because I have already created. So to create your one cluster, you can click over here, right? Then you can select which it is also going to take space from different cloud server, right? So especially we are using AWS most of the time, and which region you want to create, then it is North Virginia, or you can see uh, uh, India. It is not providing us. Cape Town, it is there, it is there. Mumbai is there, right? Mumbai. Asia Pacific, AP, Asia Pacific South 1, Mumbai. 3 tier available already, right? So I'm using North Virginia, or I can select this one for less latency or good performance, right? And you can create from here, creating cluster. I've already created, I'm not going to create again. So let me get back cluster configuration. So after creating cluster, no, I'm not going to. You can database access. So here what you have to do, a database user. So you can create multiple user from here by clicking on it. You can put password protected or certificate, or maybe a AWS IAM key you can use over here. AWS IAM means identity and access manager key. So right now we are going to use the password. Then you can create the password from here. User ID and password means database user and password, because to connect a database you have to use a database user and a password. Okay. Then network access. For example, you don't want your database to be accessed by everybody. Then what you have to do? You have to add IP over here. Or first time if you're coming over here, it will ask you to whether you want to allow the all IP accessible to everybody, or you want to add any specific IP to be allowed, right? So right now I'm keep it public. if you are if you keeping it public, keep it public, then the IP will be something like this 00000/0. Okay. Now database has been created. Sorry, yes, database has been connected. DB user has been created. Now next step is we have to connect how we can visualize the data. To visualize data, we can use Studio 3D most of the time. That is the best one, but this is not free. We can access it for one trial version for 1 month. But there are other things also. Other tools are also available in MongoDB itself. You can go over there, like MongoDB Cloud. Let's go to MongoDB Cloud, cloud.mongodb.com. Let's shift it to somewhere else. Getting this stuff. Cloud.mongodb, you can go over here. You can try it out. Go to the public page. Now it will redirect you directly there. Let's do one thing. I'm going to the public side from here. So you can see in software section, right? You can see there is a compass. There are other tools available, but you should go with compass. So download compass from here. Okay. You can download compass from here by clicking on it. Okay. Then after downloading, you have to connect it to MongoDB cloud, right? So here inside cluster, right, you can see there is a connection, connect. So if you click on connect, you will allow you to whether you are going to use Mongo Shell. Most people also in our company as well, they are using Mongo Shell. Then also most people use other tools, but right now we are going to use MongoDB Compass. So when you click on it, it will provide you a string for connection, database connection. So if you don't have, then you have to download it. If you have, you can select I have MongoDB Compass, then you can click on it, then just copy it. If you click on this, then automatically it will connect if you have MongoDB Compass already, right? So you can copy this, copy from here, then go to the MongoDB Compass. I've already downloaded it, it is already there. So let's uh, stop the connection. So let me show you how you can connect it. Let me close it. Let me close it and start again. MongoDB Compass. Okay, now it is opening. If you allow me, then it is okay. Otherwise, so how many of you use this MongoDB Compass? Anybody else? MongoDB?
Yes.
सर स्टूडियो 3D करके जो हम यूज करते थे वो अलग होता है?
That is
Same
also a
होता है वो
tool.
भी.
That is also one tool. RoboMongo is also another tool. MongoDB Shell you can use for data representation, right? So I'm copy that. I have copied that, and I can put it over here. And my MongoDB database connection is password is get 123, and I can connect. Okay, now it is connected. Then you can see I have already created the bootcamp. Let bootcamp. So I can see there are 3 records are available. You can see you can view as a JSON or as an object. You can copy from here. Okay, so it is also new to me, but you guys can explore more because initially we are using our team, the whole JavaScript team was using Mongo 3D, Studio 3D, but it is also a good tool, free tool, so you can use that as well, right? So I think everything I mentioned over here, you can see, refer the document if you forgot what to do. So you can create your database, then you can connect it. Copy the connection string. I have mentioned whatever I did right now in front of you. It's mentioned over here. So the video is still recording. I can share with you, and easily you can understand from there as well. Okay. Then what is Mongo's? So connection has been done, right? So now we are going to use one ORM for MongoDB. What is ORM? It is object relational mapping, right? Whenever we are creating any model, in MySQL, creating any model in the database model. What is database model? I will explain later on. So here most of the time we are using any ORM. For MySQL, we are using like SQLize, and what are the other things I mentioned earlier. So I think I forgot about it. So what are the other ORM for SQL database? Anybody has any idea? I know SQLize and other two are available also, but I didn't remember them. So anybody else do you have any idea about it? Any others ORM you are using for SQL database? No idea? SQLize, you have idea, right? Guys, you are using SQLize ORM. So it is Mongo's is ORM for NoSQL database. Most of the time we use for MongoDB. It is working very well with Mongo. Mongo's is working very well with MongoDB, right? So you want to learn more about Mongo's, you can learn from here, because you have to learn so many things in Mongo's. Otherwise, it is very difficult for you to operate database or query level, right? So right now we are running out of time, so we can conclude it shortly. So you can learn it from yourself. The Mongo's docs.guide.html, you can see whatever the things, the primary things, what are the types, different type of field types, how can you validate. We can learn one by one. So till now, do you have any question? Anybody has any question? So it is less than 1 minute, we can conclude. So you learn whatever I explained, you just connect by yourself, create your account and connect a database. Then we will continue with Mongo's. You can learn something from Mongo's online tutorials. Then you can start creating models tomorrow. Okay? Everything clear? Okay, let's conclude.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you. Thank you.